What is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day, or whatever time it is. I hope it is great for you. So it has been quite some time since I've done a phone comparison, which means I've had my Fold 4 here for a little more than I usually would have a phone when another one comes out. I did finally manage to get my hands on a Z Fold 5, and today we are going to compare that to the Fold 4 here and see if it's actually worth you spending $1,000 or more. Now, just FYI, I'm going to keep this part of my case on because these cases are not made very well. There is adhesive under the bottom of this, and if I take it off, I'm not going to be able to put it back on, and I don't want to go through the trouble of having to order another case. However, this is actually the same exact color as the phone. Well, kind of the same exact color as the phone. Either way, you know what the Fold 5 should look like from the front by looking at the Fold 4. Anyway, let's move on to the comparison. As always, let's go ahead and start with what you would actually get in the box, which is just a USB Type-C to C cable, your terms and conditions, and of course, you do get a SIM removal tool, which is hard for me to remove. And that's it. The current price of the Z Fold 4 starts at $1,199 for 256 gigabytes, then goes up by $120 more for the 512 gigabyte. The last price would be $1,599 for the 1 terabyte, which only seems to be available in the unlocked version. At least that's what it says on Samsung's website. It's definitely worth noting that you can buy the Fold 4 for a really good price if you don't mind getting it refurbished or in like new condition. I've left some links in the description if you're interested in getting a good deal on one. And yes, these are definitely affiliate links and do help me out. Everybody has got to eat somehow. The Fold 5 pretty much starts at the same exact price the Fold 4 started at when it was released, which is $1,799 for 256 gigabytes. If you want to double your storage, then that will cost you $120 more for the 512 gigabyte and add $240 more, and you can get yourself a whopping 1 terabyte of storage. Since this video is being done around the holidays, I would definitely urge you to shop around for sales on the Z Fold 5. Since they do run sales on the Fold 5 sometimes, and if I didn't say it before, purchasing from these affiliate links will literally cost you nothing extra than if you were to purchase it without doing so from one of the links in the description, so consider it, if anything. The Fold 4 has 4 color choices technically. You have your Phantom Black, Beige, Gray Green, and the Samsung.com exclusive Burgundy. The Z Fold 5 comes in 5 different colors, which are Icy Blue, Cream, Phantom Black, and the Samsung.com exclusive colors Blue and Gray. The Z Fold 4 used to be available in all color and storage options, but Samsung looks to have changed that by only giving you certain colors and storage options that are going to be based on the carrier you choose instead of being able to get them in the unlocked model. You want to have a look at Samsung.com or your preferred retailer to see what options are available. For the Fold 5, you can pretty much choose any storage and color option you can think of since Samsung finally smartened up and made these combinations available. Now, if you aren't the type of person to notice design changes unless they're extremely obvious, then you'll be happy to know that both of these devices do share a good percentage of the same design features and language. They do have a few differences, one of them being the dimensions, but you'll really hardly notice these. The biggest differences between both devices is the fact that the Z Fold 5 can now completely close flat due to its new zero gap hinge. It has a less pronounced but not completely gone crease, smaller speaker grills. The camera setup has also changed slightly in the sense that the Z Fold 5 has a smaller island with cameras that protrude a bit more than the Fold 4's cameras. The flash on the Fold 5 is also separated off to the side as opposed to being part of this one module. Other than these design changes, everything else is about the same, and it's something that you probably will notice for yourself also. When it comes to ingress protection or the IP rating, both devices are IPX8 certified, which means that they can withstand submersion in up to 1.5 meters of fresh water for 30 minutes. They are also both still not dust resistant, which I think is really to be expected when you have a device with an open hinge design like this. The display sizes of both devices are the exact same. You have a 6.2-inch cover screen on the outside of the device and a 7.6-inch main display on the inside. The similarities continue on since the resolution of both the cover screen and main display between both devices are the exact same. Now, even though there are mostly similarities here, there are some differences between both displays. One of those differences is the fact that the Fold 5 does have a higher max brightness than the Fold 4, and the other fact is that the Fold 5's display tends to lean towards a warmer temperature when using the vivid mode in the screen calibration tool. At least this is what I was able to see, or what I'm able to find out. I am not a display expert in any way, but again, something I took notice of. The Z Fold 4 has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 Plus system on a chip inside, while the Z Fold 5 has the newer, but technically not the latest, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is the first mobile platform to support Vulkan 1.3 APIs, whatever that means to whoever it means something to, and has a newer Adreno GPU that delivers up to 25% faster performance with up to 45% better power efficiency. The newer CPU improves performance up to 35%, while the new microarchitecture allows for up to 40% more power efficiency. Of course, these performance gains won't really matter as much if you only do basic tasks every day, but for those into high-end graphical content, you will most likely notice the performance gains here. Now, 5G is one of those things I feel is ridiculously fast, or rather excessively fast in most cases, no matter what phone it's in and what variant of it is being used. The Z Fold 5 does come with the latest Snapdragon X70 modem, which should increase speeds in areas you can get them. The rest of the connectivity aspects between devices are the same, with the only big difference here being that the Fold 4 gives you Bluetooth 5.2, while the Fold 5 comes with Bluetooth 5.3. The camera specifications of both devices are pretty much the same. You have the same megapixel counts, the same aperture values, as well as the same field of view for all cameras. Although I try to keep my opinions away from these comparisons, I will say that this is something I'm very disappointed in, especially since Samsung's best camera sensor is the 200 megapixel one you get on the S22 Ultra, and most likely in future phones, of course. They could have easily just used the older 108 megapixel sensor and improved it, and that would have probably been a pretty cool upgrade. Now, this is not to say that the Fold 5's camera doesn't have any updates to it. They're just more on the software side of things. Let's go ahead and take a look at some samples that will allow you to formulate your own opinions, however. So unfortunately, this time around, I actually forgot to do the zoom samples. That's where I go from 1x to 3x to 30 times digital zoom. However, since both of these phones do have the same exact cameras, that means the zoom is the same, so you're really not missing much except for the different color science. However, these rear camera samples will still give you an idea of what at least the main camera is like, which is arguably the only camera that really matters on any phone anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the audio test of the speakers here, of course. And what you're going to want to do here, as always, is adjust your volume, because I will not be controlling the volume in this part of the video, which means it's going to be extremely loud. So if you have headphones on, you might want to adjust that to about 40% or so, or whatever speakers you have on. It's just going to be really, really loud. I don't want to break anybody's eardrums. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do this.
No discussion, all I know is I was made for this. Paid for this, yeah, slave for this. Been down and I'ma get it right. Dead on sight like first off, you don't run nothing. All talking, your team bluffing. My squad, we all dream crushing. We ain't rushing, no discussion. All I know is I was made for this. Paid for this, slave for this. Been down and I'ma get it right. Dead on sight like
So of course, in order to finish out the audio test, we have to go ahead and test the microphones on both phones. So let us go ahead and do that. And again, adjust your volume. This is a test between the microphones on the Galaxy Z Fold 4 and on the Galaxy Z Fold 5. Can you hear any difference between both of these microphones? Does one sound like it has been updated over the other, or do they both sound the exact same? This is a test between the microphones on the Galaxy Z Fold 4 and on the Galaxy Z Fold 5. Can you hear any difference between both of these microphones? Does one sound like it has been updated over the other, or do they both sound the exact same? On the battery and charging side of things, everything here is, you guessed it, pretty much the same. You have the same exact wire charging speeds, you have the same exact wireless charging speeds, and not to mention the same exact battery capacity. The one saving grace here is the fact that the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 inside of the Z Fold 5 is most likely going to be more efficient at handling any power-hungry parts, which should in theory give you better battery life. Of course, we got to go ahead and do a test, so let's go ahead and do a rough test to see if this might actually be true. The way I like to do battery tests is I like to put something on both of these phones that I know is going to be extremely strenuous on all of their parts. Their parts meaning the central processing unit, the CPU, and the graphical processing unit, the GPU. Now, not everybody is going to play games. However, by stressing these phones out to their max, or at least as close to their max, because this is the only way I can think of to do this, this should give you an idea of what your battery would last, or rather your battery life would look like if you were doing something that was extremely strenuous. So right now I have both phones charged to 100, and I will go ahead and run this test 2 times, which is more than I usually do. I usually run it once and then see what the battery life is like there, but let's go ahead and actually run this twice to see just how efficient these phones can be. Okay, so I am back, and let's go ahead and see what both of these devices are sitting at. Okay, so as you can see here, the Z Fold 4 is sitting at 76%, while the Galaxy Z Fold 5 is sitting at 79%. So not that much of a difference. I mean, of course, this is, like I said, a raw test. This is not how you would actually use this in the real world. Anything can happen, but this was the most strenuous test I could think of. And now we're going to head right into the battery charging test. So I have both batteries sitting at 50% on both phones. And what I am going to do is I'm going to charge them each for 30 minutes using the 25-watt chargers that they come with. And well, sorry, they don't come with chargers anymore, of course. But if you have a 25-watt charger, that's the one it would come with, if it did come with one. I'm going to go ahead and charge them for 30 minutes basically, and come back and see exactly where they are at that point. All right, that 30 minutes is up and I am back. So let's go ahead and see where these batteries are at. Okay, so the Z Fold 4 is sitting at 88%, while the Z Fold 5 is sitting at 89%. Now, this literally speaks to the reason as to why, you know, a lot of the things I said in this comparison were basically the same. You know, Samsung needs to kind of, I'll keep my opinion out of it. I just wish we got better charging speeds. Let's put it like that. So when it comes to software, there really isn't that much difference here. And I mean, obviously, when you take a look at the Android 13 I have running on here and Android 14 I have running on here, you'd probably say, well, there has to be some difference. But here's the thing. You're going to get Android 14 on the Fold 4, and it's going to be the same exact experience, if not very, very close, or about 98% close to what is on here with Android 14. Now, there are a ton of changes with One UI 6 and Android 14 running on any of these devices, which this is Z Fold 5. However, if I was to actually go over all of those changes, that would actually have to be a separate video because it would make this one really, really long. So I am just going to say that, you know, if you see something on the Z Fold 5 with Android 14, you're going to get it on here. Now, I am not opposed to making a video on One UI 6. However, it's going to be released for the Fold 4 fairly soon, I'm pretty sure. So you can either, you know, find out what those differences are on your own, or if you'd like to know, then leave a comment and I will go ahead and make a video on all the changes I can find in One UI 6. All right, y'all, so that is pretty much all I have on the comparison between the Z Fold 4 and the Z Fold 5. As always, you know, if there are any questions or comments or anything like that, leave those down below. And if you are interested in purchasing either a Z Fold 4 or a Z Fold 5, I will have some affiliate links in the description, and it would definitely, again, help me out if you are going to purchase one of these phones. If you were going to do it through Amazon anyway, like I said, it costs you nothing. So, or if I didn't say that, I'm saying it now, costs you nothing, and it does help me out with this channel so I can do reviews and comparisons like this. This is a comparison for all of you. And of course, I will be doing a full-on review of the Z Fold 5, so stay tuned for that. I'm looking to have it out before the end of December, hopefully, you know, life willing and all that. But anyway, wherever you are in the world, have a great day, a great afternoon, a great evening, or a great night, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.